And now we're going to talk to Karen Hooper from The Nation about a really devastating story of what happened to a person who went to work in Iraq as a contractor and what Kellogg Brown & Root, former subsidiary of Halliburton, did to her, in fact, very, very recently. Karen, welcome to the Young Turks.
Oh, hi. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. Karen, I understand Lisa Smith is a pseudonym you guys are using to cover the real identity of the person here, but let's use it here as well. What happened to Lisa Smith when she went to Iraq?
Well, she's a 42-year-old paramedic from Illinois who went over to Iraq in January. Well, she was over there actually since the preceding July, but she went back for R&R in January and then returned to Iraq and was sent to a smaller base where about a week after she was there, she was quite brutally raped by at least one other KBR employee and one U.S. Army soldier, she alleges. So she woke up the next morning. The Army soldier was still in her, actually, I shouldn't say Army, U.S. soldier, because I'm not sure whether it was, she didn't want to reveal whether it was Special Forces, Army, whatever branch of the service. But he was still in her room, and she was covered in feces and blood, and there was a gun on the floor next to her, and she was, needless to say, quite freaked out. She only remembered a little bit of the incident while it was happening the night before, screaming at one point while she was being anally and orally penetrated. And she was called into her camp manager's office that morning after the incident, and he told her everything would be taken care of, but she wasn't to speak about it. And a U.S. military liaison person was called to try to get the soldier out of her room because he was still passed out and she couldn't rouse him. And so he also told this woman, Lisa Smith, that she should be quiet about the incident, don't say anything. And this woman was scared. She was on this base that was under rocket fire fairly regularly. She was far from any of her friends at the first base she'd been stationed at. So she kept quiet for 2.5 more weeks until she was sent back to another base. And then she began trying to report the incident and ran into a pretty sizable series of hurdles in the course of trying to do that. She says she was discouraged from reporting the incident by a couple of KBR employees. She's also confused, even at the other base, by the lack of any kind of medical protocol for sexual assault. She was the only medical person on the site, so she basically had to treat herself for STDs in the aftermath. And then she was asked, once she reported it to KBR, she said she was asked several times to sign documents saying she wouldn't discuss it publicly, the incident. And then later, when she tried to, she reached out to an attorney in the U.S. to try to help her figure out what her rights were. And when she did that, she found that and she received an email back from this attorney, she found that her computer was confiscated by KBR right in the aftermath of that. So it was a really rocky 2 months for her. And she is just now back in the United States about a week for, R&R and has told her story publicly for the first time.
You know, when you hear a story like this, if it's true, it's devastating, right?
Yeah.
And so the first thing you think of is
it true?
Is it true? And what possible incentive would someone have to make a story like this up? Who could even imagine it? Sitting in Iraq, and then you have to tell exactly the people who did it and risk their careers and lives, etc. What possible incentive would she have to make this up? And did you get a sense from talking to her her degree of credibility?
I did. That was obviously my first question too as a reporter was like, can I believe this person's story? In one sense, it's such a brutal tale, but I talked to her, and actually before I went and talked to her, I talked to a friend of mine who's a psychologist. I'm like, give me some tips on ways, too, of checking credibility. I mean, I have a pretty good BS detector anyways, being a journalist for 20 years. But, I asked her for some tips, and some of the things she said to do was, ask her to repeat her story several times and see what, if the details stay the same, and check the details. And there was so many details in her account, and some of them so bizarre that you know that they're not made up. For example, she was telling me that after she woke up, and, this soldier is still in her bed, she's vague about what happened. It sounds like she might have been slipped a date rape drug the night before. She starts trying to clean the carpet, which has blood and feces on it. And then she starts using a kind of cleanser with Clorox in it, and it starts to discolor the carpet, and she begins to worry that she's going to get in trouble for this discolored carpet. And, just little details like that if somebody's like, you just don't make those up. And, she went into quite specific details about the reporting of the incident, and her attorney has quite a bit of documentation in terms of emails back and forth between her and some of the other KBR employees in the course of her reporting this. So there is quite a bit of documentation in terms of her clearly trying to get some help, mostly not even justice at this point, but help regarding this, because I think she's quite clearly still very traumatized. And I think that to me, the important thing is she seemed credible enough to at least compel an investigation. So,
and Karen, she's not alone, is she? I mean, this is not the first time this has happened at KBR.
No, that's what was really troubling, too, was that when I first started looking into her story, I, of course, started talking to there's another woman who has gone on the record with a similar case, Jamie Lee Jones, and her story kind of came out in December, and her attorney has since received, I think he has 15 clients right now with cases against Halliburton or KBR regarding sexual assault and harassment.
See,
and
Karen,
yeah?
the thing that drove me crazy when reading your story was, look, it was such a brutal rape, and it's happened over and over again. And so those details are maddening. But the one that really ticked me off was when this happened to Lisa. And it happened in January of 2008. That's this year, a couple of months ago. Isn't that well after KBR had already had enormous and ample evidence that this had been going on, and apparently they did nothing to stop it from happening again?
Yeah, it seems like, and this is the tricky thing about these kinds of cases, is that because they have the employees sign these contracts that have in the fine print that they aren't allowed to take these cases, into the courts, that they must be settled in arbitration. The fact that there is, many cases like this that we haven't even heard of, and even the ones we've heard of are starting to really pile up. The sense is that they've been able to keep this quiet for a long time, and it's not clear that they've done anything to change the situation.
Right. And the other thing that's driving me crazy is, look, we're talking about whether they should go into open court or whether they should do arbitration on brutal gang rapes, right? Put that aside. That's insanity. Of course they should go into open court. But put that aside. They're like, oh, dispute resolution. This is not a dispute. This is not a dispute resolution. This is a major, major case, okay? So it's not like, hey, were you late 3 times to work? Did you show up at 9:05 or 9 o'clock? So that part bothers me, right? But what bothers me a hell of a lot more is, we're never going to get any justice on any of these things? Well, I get you can rape American women, let alone, God help, Iraqi women, inside Iraq if you're a KBR Halliburton employee, and never, ever suffer any consequences with impunity. You could rape people there?
Yeah, well, it's very troubling that there's about 180,000 defense contractors over there in the Middle East right now, and there hasn't been a single successful Justice Department completed criminal conviction against any of those contractors for violent crimes anywhere in Iraq. So it is a really troubling statistic, and apparently this is something that the Justice Department could pursue because it did take place with one U.S. citizen against another U.S. citizen on a military base under a particular contract with the government.
We've lost our sanity, man. I mean, the Justice Department won't even take these cases. How in the hell are we supposed to get any kind of justice? This should be an enormous story that everybody's talking about, how the Justice Department won't pursue rape cases against American women in Iraq. Gang rapes, awful rapes, brutal rapes, over and over and again, and they won't ever do anything about it. That's insanity. Insanity has become the norm now. How is that allowed in the United States of America? If I was these women, I think they're being, I mean, I'd rip this place down. I'd go to Washington and burn it down to get justice. And you know what? They're messing with something bigger than they realize, because they've been doing this to women over and over. You know, you said the 15 cases they've got at least, and those are just the ones that had the courage to report it after all of these different hurdles that they had to jump through and all the things that the KBR put up against them. One day, and it's always the same pattern, the date rape drug, and then the guys come in and do these terrible things. One day, somebody's going to wake up, and the gun is going to be there, just like in this case. They're going to get up and shoot those guys. And then, by the way, when a woman does that, she'll be prosecuted. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. They'll never prosecute the guys who did it, and they will definitely prosecute her if she ever does anything about it. God, man, people should be steaming mad about this. And, you know, you're writing about it at The Nation, and God bless you. And, you know, we got the link up, and you should read Karen's article at The Nation on it. But this should be in every single paper in the country. Karen, what's happened to this country? What happened in the press?
I don't know, but let's hope that that she does get some attention, and that somebody decides to hold KBR's feet to the fire with this one, and at least make them explain themselves, because I think that they have a lot of explaining to do here in terms of how they treated her in the aftermath.
I'm going to say one last thing here, Karen. If this was Al Gore's former company, the Republicans would have impeached every Democrat in the country by now, okay?
Yeah.
They would have tarred and feathered him and ridden him out of town. But it's Dick Cheney's company, and nobody's writing a damn thing about it except you.
Yeah, and you know what? Interestingly enough, though, one of the folks who've been really pushing this is a Republican, Poe, who has been actually advocating on behalf of Jamie Lee Jones to get her case heard, because in some ways this is an issue that goes beyond partisan politics. It's like this is an issue for the country to sit up and pay attention to. That
No, Karen, it should go beyond partisan politics because it shocks the conscience.
Yeah.
And Congressman Poe, because Jamie Lee Jones is in his district in Texas, is doing the right thing there, and God bless his heart, okay?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be a Republican-Democrat thing. But the rest of the Republicans, of course, are covering for Dick Cheney and the Bush administration, as they always do. And by the way, it's not a partisan thing, because the Democrats suck. They haven't done a thing about this. They should be screaming from the rooftops in Washington, and they're letting them get a free ride on it, because they don't know a thing about politics or policy, or in this case, simple justice.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay, you got me worked up, Karen. Okay, great article. I really appreciate it. I mean, I personally appreciate that you pursued this and that you wrote about it. Thank you so much for coming on the Young Turks, Karen. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, no problem.
Bye.
Young Turks.